and we want to create employee repository default test. Well, I just did it, but let's do it once again. When we are on any class, we click Alt Enter or Option Enter on macOS, and we would like to create a test. We have Unit 5 library from Spring Boot, and we mark methods we would like to generate test methods for, and we want to set up a before and tear them after. Those methods are executed before and after each method. So setting the method and tear downing, so removing the unnecessary data after the test. And I just did it for employee repository default here. Sorry, here. And we also have to add something that is Spring Boot test. So if you have your test, just mark the add and Spring Boot test. And that's it. We are having our tests. We created a employee repository default as a repository, so our Spring will know that he has to create a bin for it. So our Spring will create for us this class. You don't need to know more about Spring, thus we don't have to create it for our app's purposes. We don't need to create a new employee repository default because Spring is creating it for us. And the most important thing for now is that he is always returning you the same object, because the default scope in repository bin and bins in Java are singleton, which means that every time you get bin from Java, it returns the same data. We would like to have the same employee repository default every time because it's persisting our data. If we would have another example, then he will have different data. When we store 10 employees or 100 with employee repository default, we need to call the same object to have this data. If we will create new ones, he will be empty. So we have employee repository default. I just created getters before each after and test class, and you need to write annotation test from JUnit Jupyter, which means that this method will be executed as a test, and that's awesome. And we have a first question mark. You can make a stop here. What employee will print? Will it print first name, last name, and price? The fields of employee repository. We need repository class or something else. We can stop it, answer the question, and let's try. We can just double click, no, just right click on the create, and it is executed. Stop.